Greetings YouTube, this is Toy Customizer Wake Angel 2001 and look what arrived in the mail today. Yes, this is part of a trade. Remember back when I reviewed my Classics Prowl figure? Well, a fellow YouTube user, a TF Addict, I forget if there's any numbers at the end of that, in exchange for sending him that Prowl, he sent me a figure that I had been wanting for a while. Drift. Drift is a very nice white car. I learned from Vangelis's review that this kanji says samurai. If that is correct, then hooray. If not, then I don't really know how to read it. And I find that when I collect Transformers, the ones that are my favorites tend to be the quirkies. You know, like Mirage with his war weariness, or Prowl with his bird watching, animated Prowl that is. But in Drift's case, he is an otaku. Yes, he used to be a Decepticon, he converted to an Autobot, and he fell in love with Japanese culture and decided to take on the mantle of a samurai and live like that, because of the code of samurai honor and stuff like that. So yeah, like, what better? Apparently, this guy, this guy learned about earthly culture by watching the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, because that's the kind of car that he transformed into. He's a drift racer. Yes. I made a Fast and the Furious joke. Still a better reference than whatever the hell Michael Bay used to make Skids and Mudflap. Okay, so let's see if I can transform this guy. Let's see. First, I unclip the sword and pull it out so that it's out of the way. Okay, I believe first he almost looks like he has opening doors, but they just don't peg that way. Oh, one note, Drift has some of the absolute tightest tabs that I have ever seen. These tabs that hold the vehicle mode together, once they're in place, it is really hard to get them back out. They seriously, the first time I did it, in trying to pull those tabs apart, I ripped the arm off, right at the ball joint. Okay, and the tabs that hold the legs together are equally as they expect kids to be able to do this. Seriously, his tabs are so crazily tight, like especially this one on the spoiler. They hold together too well. It's actually hard to take him apart, and I feel like if I pull in the wrong direction, I'm gonna break the thing. This is embarrassing. Okay, let's... Got it. Okay. Okay, so get those arms up and out of the way. Move the chest piece up. Cover that. This is actually pretty cool. This is some of the best stealth weapon storage I've ever seen. Like the swords, they not only store away in alt mode, but they are actually completely hidden. The handles of the swords actually have a joint that allows them to fold so they can go into the car. So they're actually revealed as you transform him. And even the window folds down to get out of the way. A lesser transformer would have ignored that, so good on Drift. Okay. Drift has really... his legs are kind of weird. Like, once you actually start to construct his thighs, he has like, his feet are way out there too. They're like They have like 3 swing transformation joints. They create a really nice look, but take a look at that leg. Here's the thigh. Here's the shin. That's not human anatomy. I mean, his shin is 3 times longer than his thigh. That's kind of crazy, don't you think? It's like you know, a person would have to be wearing really tall platform shoes to replicate that look. It's just not something that we hear. However, sheesh, like I said, these joints are so amazingly tight. I never had to put so much physical grunt work into transforming a guy before. I love how these sheaths are on a ball joint and a hinge at the waist, so they really don't do anything to get in the way of articulation, despite how huge they are. And they still have the kanji on them. They don't get broken up by the transformation. That's really cool. Oh, I accidentally pushed his sword back in. Yes. And his arms have a really nice reveal. You just grab the hand, and when you pull them down, you rotate out a new Autobot logo. That's really cool. And they have like a ball jointed wrist that can go inward as well as turn, double jointed elbow, bicep swivel. Then the transformation joint can continue going up this way, and then it's ball jointed at the shoulder. I mean, this is the most articulated arm I've ever seen, bar none. This is the winner. He almost beats out Mirage, but Mirage has better articulation on his legs, so it's kind of even. Now, I was just saying how these gigantic sheaths actually do a good job of getting out of the way, and they don't get in the way of posing. What does get in the way of posing is the enormous shoulder kibble. I mean, it's huge. It can really barely get anywhere before it starts to bump into his head or something. But aside from that, his arms are really nice, and this guy is just freaking amazing. He is truly awesome. He comes with these 2 swords. They slip right out of the sheath. I know, a lot of people are going to say that they're like wet noodles, but you know, Hasbro has to deal with safety regulations, so you can't have kids poking their eyes out. Anyway, they look really cool, and his arm articulation is such that you can really have fun posing him with his swords. But the real big draw of this figure is of course the thing that's sticking up out of his back, and the articulation of his arms is actually such that he can reach up and actually grab the sword, which is pretty impressive. You don't see many toys out there that can actually reach up and grab their own weaponry with their articulation. You usually have to pull it out yourself. Well, actually, you do have to pull it out yourself because his arm is nowhere near long enough to pull the sword out. But you can put him in a pose where he's reaching back and getting it himself, and that's pretty amazing in and of itself. Let's pull the camera back just a little bit. And yeah, it's like, as I can see, the sword, it's almost as long as he is, and his articulation is so good that he can actually wield this thing two-handed. I mean, I'm fumbling in front of a camera here, so I'm not going to be able to get the best. But yeah, that's the real big appeal of Drift. He's like one of maybe 2 Transformers that I've ever seen that can actually convincingly and really well pull off a two-handed sword pose. And if I wasn't on my bed, then you could probably see him stand a little better. I'm gonna see if I can get some better pictures. But yeah, that is the awesomeness that is Drift. Well, I guess the only way to really show off how amazing this guy is to turn off the video and use my camera's true potential in taking some real pictures of this guy.